having an amazing week. So, this is the second day where I'm going to give you a hot tip for the week in preparation of the masterclass that we have coming up in 2 weeks. So, if you haven't registered yet for the masterclass, make sure you do that today. We are really getting ready to have an amazing 5 day event where each day we're going to teach you a really good strategy within real estate. But today I'm going to talk about what we're going to be talking in the masterclass, which is on the second day. And it's basically how to use wholesaling to turn into your ATM machine. This is something I say, use wholesaling as your ATM machine. And first of all, let's talk about wholesaling. What is wholesaling? Well, I think there is a lot of misconceptions out there. People think of wholesaling like this thing that, not really sure what it is. But really, very simply, it's about flipping a contract. You don't flip a property per se because you're not the owner of the property, but you have certain rights where you can flip the contract. So now, if you understand this concept where you're really not responsible for the property, you're never going to own the property for more than a couple of hours, you don't have to do any repairs on the property, you're not really responsible for anything as far as the property is concerned because you're buying and selling and is as is. Now you understand where flipping the contract is very doable, right? And you can flip a contract virtually, meaning you can do it from anywhere. You can do it from your own backyard where you live. You can do it across the country. We have people from Europe and Canada that do it here in America. Because when you flip a contract and you're buying and selling a property as is, there is no really due diligence on your end. It all falls on your end buyer, on your investor responsibility to do so. Now, there are 4 sub strategies to wholesaling. So that's the cool thing that people don't know. Wholesaling, honestly, I don't like that term. To me, more flipping the contract is more indicative what wholesaling is. But there are 4 sub-strategies that go together with flipping a contract. And those are part of the exit strategies to wholesaling. Now, there is a couple of new ones there. So a lot of you have heard of assignments and a lot of you have heard of double closing. But there are a couple of new ones on the horizon that are coming up. One of them is novation and the other one is installment agreements, because there are certain states that are heavy regulating wholesaling is. But as always, what I say with real estate, where there is a will, there is a way. So don't worry, wholesaling is here to stay, because the concept can be used not just with real estate, it's used with cars, it's used with goods. It's about how you understand the process and what you're going to do with these contracts. So some limitations in some states is that you have to be licensed in order to wholesale. Some states like South Carolina made it illegal to wholesale. But like I said, where there is a will, there is a way. So there are ways to do it. So basically, people were misrepresenting, abused the system. They were out there saying they own property they didn't own and created an issue for everybody else. But so as a real estate investor, we're very good at inventing ourselves and going around and making these things working and legal. I've been in real estate for almost 4 decades, for 40 years. I actually was one of the pioneers when it comes to wholesaling because it wasn't mainstream back in the 80s. I stumbled into it because I was buying a property for myself, probate, and then I had to move. I couldn't go through with the sale or the purchase, and so I ended up flipping the contract and made $75,000. I thought that was a fluke, but then I realized that that was actually good business practice. So then I started doing it all over again, and I became one of the pioneers as far as writing the contracts for wholesaling, putting the right contingencies. And where did I learn this? Honestly, go straight to the source. When you know about something and you don't know if you are legal or not, I talked to the real estate commission. The real estate commission told me which disclosures, what I need to do on the contracts, and then I knew I was safe, right? So that's what I share with you. So make sure you attend the masterclass coming up in 2 weeks. Other things we're going to talk about is how to write the contract, the most popular contingencies that I use in the contract when it comes to wholesaling. So today, like I said, we talk about wholesaling, which is about creating your money-making machine. Let me give you an example. I had 2 students, Jimmy and Patricia, husband and wife. They're actually coaches within our community now. When they came to me a few years ago, they actually wanted to buy rental properties. So they went out there and started buying rental properties. They had some limited funds, a line of credit on their home that they used to purchase these properties. But what they did, within a couple of years, they kind of tapped out. The banks are not really giving any more money. They had too many things in their work. So they said, we needed cash. And I said to them, turn to wholesaling. I've told you that from day one. You should wholesale. That should always be in your back pocket. That's your money-making machine. So what happened is they start wholesaling. Not only they ended up loving it, because obviously you get these huge checks every month, but also they paid off all their rentals. So now let's fast forward 5 years later. They own a really good sizable rental portfolio with no mortgages because they use wholesaling to do so. I personally don't buy properties as rental with mortgages. I use wholesaling, save up the money, and then buy a property. Save up the money and then buy a property. And it does two things. It builds up your portfolio and you get amazing tax breaks. So I don't pay money on my profits from wholesaling. So there is a lot of cool things that wholesaling can do for you if you do it correctly. So that's why I really encourage you to attend this masterclass, because we're going to dive deep into wholesaling, into the 4 sub-strategies to wholesaling, how you can leverage each one. We're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of wholesaling. And also, some states have some limitations. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk how you can create wholesaling into your money-making ATM machine and pay off all your rentals, or actually fund your fix and flips and make money, because at the end of the day, $20,000, $30,000 per deal, especially when you get into innovations, are not uncommon. So that's what we're going to talk about, and what to write in the contracts with the stipulations and contingencies to keep you safe. So there is a link here in this video, in the title, or also on the post. Make sure I see you at the masterclass. It's only the cost of a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Seriously, the whole week, it will cost you 1 cup of coffee. So for one day, make the coffee at home, save the $7, invest in the masterclass, and trust me, it will come back to you thousands and thousands of times over. So hopefully this was interesting for you to realize how you can leverage wholesaling to create your money-making machines, and that there is a lot more to wholesaling than you might think when we get into the 4 sub-strategies, because I'm all about not leaving money on the table. So why not? Okay. See you in a couple of weeks.